In this video, I'm going to try out some productivity, note-taking, personal knowledge management, or Zettelkasten apps today. They all have a kind of visual element and they all have the note-taking element. They're all aiming to be your second brain. They're all aiming to be places where you can take notes and where you can get some real serious thinking and planning and organization done. I'm excited. I'm not the expert on any of these. I'm going to compare 5 apps. I'm going to compare Scrintal, I'm going to compare Miro, Obsidian, Notion, and xTiles. I'm just going to spend 10 minutes on each. I'm even going to put a little timer, and I'm going to do a small project plan. I'm going to plan a video script or outline in each. I'll then just sort of give you my thoughts on that first sort of use of them. And as I say, I'm not the expert here on all of these, and there's lots of content on most of them online. But what I am going to be able to show you with this is I'm going to be able to show you my kind of first thoughts and how easy to use I found them for that initial getting started with a plan. And I'd really like to know if you've got any thoughts, if you've got any things, I'd definitely try this, or the reason why I love this in this app. I'd love to read that kind of comment down below the subscribe button. And yeah, if you think you'd like to see more content on any one of these 5 different apps, or you think that actually I've missed a trick and there's another app that I should be using, that I should have in a comparison like this, then please let me know and I'll try those out. I think I'll start with xTiles. It does have a little bit of an advantage over the others in that I am an xTiles user already. So there is that to bear in mind. So I'm going to find this a little bit easier, and I have found it really very useful over the past sort of year that I've been using it. But I'm just going to start a brand new document, and I'm going to plan from scratch on here. And I do use a lot of templates on here normally. I've made my own templates that sort of suit sort of the elements of my writing that I know need to check off when I'm planning a video. And I'm going to start from scratch in all of them and not use any templates that they have available or that you can download from anywhere on the internet. Just to say, xTiles does have a free plan, but that is limited in the number of blocks of text that you can write. And it is £6.40 is the cheapest I found it per month for the unlimited plan, the pro plan. So let's put a timer on and see how I get on with planning my first video here in xTiles. So that's my 10 minutes with xTiles, and yeah, it felt very natural. I was very quickly able to lay out something that let me sort of see the whole video at once and sort of lay things out into different boxes. What I think about xTiles is it does have an infinite scroll vertically, but it doesn't have an infinite scroll side to side. So I really think that they should have this kind of infinite canvas view, which some of the other ones that I'm going to look at today do. I like that you can very quickly format things into headings, etc., or use colors to annotate where here I'm talking about some videos that I'm going to do, rather than it being sort of something that I'm going to say, so you can differentiate your notes quite nicely for that. I use this quite a lot incidentally, where I change things from red to orange to green if they're sort of to-do lists, and there are loads of really powerful integration tools that I haven't really touched on. Just to say that they've also given me a year free xTiles themselves. Just say that xTiles themselves have also given me a year free of the pro license, and we have worked together on some sponsored content in the past. So that isn't the first time that I've used xTiles, and nor is it an entirely independent view on it. It's a good platform and I've really enjoyed using it. Cool. I'm going to try Miro next, which is an entirely new one to me. And I've got a free account here. It does seem like there's no free version at all, so I hope I'm going to be able to actually do this. Unlock unlimited and private boards. So clearly I've got a limit on the number of boards that I can use, and actually telling me the free version here. Yeah, here we are. So 3 boards is all I'm allowed on the free version, so that won't get you very far if you did want to use this. You certainly couldn't rely on this for a long time. Now, Miro seems to work in teams. So the first thing I did when I logged in, it was create a team, which is just got 1 member in it, which is me, which is all you're allowed, I think, on the free version as well. And then you work in boards. So I'm going to start a new board and give it a title. And as I said, I'm going to go for a blank one. Can I get a blank one? Just like that. I'm going to leave it there. It's almost finished, and that's enough kind of that I need to think through at this point, I think. I like this It's clearly designed more for collaboration and thinking together, which is cool. There's a few different things, like you can add cards, you can add sticky notes, you can add text box, you can add frames. I don't know if it needs all of those, and I'm not sure. I think the card was the only one that I could kind of expand. Can I seal that? Yeah, I go expand, and then I can add more detail within that card. And that's what a lot of them are kind of really focusing on, that you've got the cards that you can move around, but then you can expand those and have a detailed bit of writing or lots of text within there. It does have the infinite canvas, and this is most people's kind of go-to reference for an infinite canvas. It does have a present button, so I wonder, yeah, so the present goes through the frames rather like old-fashioned Prezi did, which is rather cool. That's absolutely brilliant. That might be quite useful when I'm making a video, because I could have these frames and I could put that on my teleprompter screen, and there I could just flick through the frames rather a bit like a PowerPoint and see that text nice and big that I can go through. So actually, I quite like this. Seems like a really powerful Zettelkasten kind of visual board kind of app there. Worth coming back to, I think. 3 boards until you have to pay £8 a month might be not a goer. So let's go for Obsidian next. Obsidian is one where you actually have to use their app. You cannot just use it online. I think you can get, it does have iOS, it does have Android apps, which are cool. I have tried it once on an Android app, and I know that it works in vaults. So I've made a new vault called my name, and I'm just going to make one plan here and see how that goes. This one differs from the others because this one is about managing your own data. So it's a kind of similar kind of platform in terms of it's a note-taking app. This is really the one, if privacy is very important for you, the idea of the vault is that you keep that data vaulted down. And yes, you can store it and send it and put it on servers and things like that, but you are the manager of that rather than Obsidian themselves. And because of that, it is free, although there are some things you can pay for. Let's just have a quick look at those. All the app features, but there's a commercial use license there. So if you do need to use this for your business, then you can do that. Which I suppose my use, if I was to adopt this, might come into commercial use for planning videos for this channel. But that actually is quite a good price, even for that. It's $50 per year. Just finish this bit. So I like this is good. And yeah, it being kind of free, it kind of appeals to my sense of like open source. The first kind of couple of things I wasn't really using it right, but you know, you've got this kind of like open kind of page in your vault. Each like note is kind of separate there. I'm guessing there's some formatting options. Yeah, some basic kind of formatting options. Looks like you can do maths as well, which is good. If I use the headings, does that build it into a little tree for me? Yeah, I can sort of expand and collapse little sections. I can see this as being a really nice little option. It also has this little graph view, which is just this kind of like representation of your different notes and things that you can quickly get to, which is quite cool. You might have seen that, but partway through I kind of noticed that there was this kind of canvas option, which I like that. That's really cool as well. I don't know if I can see those as kind of their links all separately. And you can have different like sort of windows, different like tabs open. This is a good app. I can see why it's popular. Cool, let's crack on with the next one. And let's go to Scrintal next. So Scrintal then, it works with the start sort of home page is your desk. And on your desk you have different boards, and on those boards you can arrange different cards. So essentially your desk is where you would place your sort of main top line thinking really, and they've put some things already on my board. And then you can make a new board here, create board, give it a name, and you're away. I like this, that you can have cards open in these sort of separate windows and laid out on the board. Yeah, this is good. Right, I really like that. I really like that you can have several cards open at once. I don't know how many, I seem to be able to have as many as and you can actually have them in the expanded view and still see them on the desk as well. So you can have an expanded card here. I think this is great. I haven't found out how to resize the things. Must be a way to resize them. I need to obviously watch some tutorials and things on this, and they do have some excellent onboarding videos that I've seen a few of. And I know as well that there is a lot of keyboard shortcuts and things that can speed you up in creation of your initial Zettelkasten, and then you can go into detail on those. I do really like the way you've got this desktop. So now I can put this board on here. From this view, I can see the cards that are within that board, which is quite nice. And I can connect this up as well. Lots to like about this. So far, that's the one I've enjoyed using the most, I must say. Lastly, we're going to have a look at Notion. And Notion, actually, although I've hardly ever used Notion, you can see that I've got quite a little bit in here already, and it's because I used Markdown from Trello to import things into Notion. Now, most of these can actually communicate to each other, and you can save a file format called Markdown, which is the type of note-taking language, and it turns complicated notes with their kind of headings and different document structures, it turns them into a manageable sort of text format that other note-taking apps can actually understand. Notion has a paid plan as well, but generally I think most people who use Notion are actually using it for pretty much for free. So personal use, you don't have to pay for it. One of the limits seems to be like you can only invite 10 guests to 7-day page history, but you seem to be able to just have unlimited blocks, unlimited text. It seems like, most people will get a lot out of this just for free. I think it's got a bit of an unfair advantage at this point here because other apps are having to launch and having to ask for money essentially just to get off the ground, whereas Notion is big enough that there is people who are willing to pay for those business things, willing to pay for the extra features, that they can actually offer a basic and unlimited workspace for an individual for free. So that's really cool. But I did think that the AI thing was an optional extension as well. It's probably got a certain number of blocks, I would imagine. I'm not going to use this, don't worry. That's correct. Although the nice thing about AI is it can get you started and give you an idea of some headings. So let's get going. Can't write while the AI is writing. All of these so far, they are ones that will alienate some of the audience if I use them. They're not great hooks. So none of those. I think number 2 is the closest one. Can I ask it to improve that? So at one point I'm quite frustrated with having used that. But at another point, actually having the AI there within the note-taking app is actually quite useful because I'm not copying and pasting. I'm not asking it to do something in a kind of abstract place and then importing that in. I'm actually building the thing using the AI here within Notion. However, what I haven't done is I haven't thought about this in the way that I normally think through a script. And so I'm adding my own thinking underneath and using their AI kind of generated paragraphs as little kind of headings. Can ask it to do the thinking that I would do. And I've asked it there to add a summary, add a sum up with real evaluative detail. And it's gone ahead and done that. Educators and students. No, F3 comes out on top. F3 says pressure sensitivity, great. Better for artists. Battery life, co-ellipse 2E. It has kind of repeated something that I've typed above it. But actually, I'm surprised by that AI. I was a bit skeptical. I was just doing it as a bit of a kind of look, it does have this feature, but actually it's been reasonably useful. So we'll see. You'll have to see when that video comes out whether I stick with much of what the AI has done or think for myself. So okay, which ones did I like the best? To begin with, I must say Notion is a bit of a no-brainer for everyone to try. If you need a personal knowledge management system, having it free and this in depth, and that's going to link to an app on my phone or a desktop app on any device that I might want to use, or I can of course access that web app anywhere. And well, I wasn't expecting some premium features like the AI to actually just be integrated within it for free. and that was a reasonably easy one to use. I don't know if there is a limit. Yeah, AI responses, 6 out of 20 AI responses, and you can purchase, I guess, more. The Notion AI is £10 per month annually. That does give you unlimited, however, 20 per workspace, so you don't get any more once you've used those. So that's something that I won't be investing in, to be honest, because I'm not someone that wants AI to take control of all my writing. Thank you very much. But for many of you, that would be really, very useful. And it does mean that if they're giving you that, then they're going to give you a lot of their kind of more premium features, and you've got that unlimited note-taking ability there. I don't think it has a graphical view. I could be wrong. So, okay, I'm going to kind of try and put them in a kind of order here. It's a quick bit of thinking after that. I think the order would be totally different depending on your different use case. I'm going to give you the order based on this, what I've just done, which is a quick 10-minute, get an outline of a video out from a blank canvas. That does not necessarily mean that I think one is the very best out of all of these, and I'm going to try and give you what I think are the different use cases and who they're best for. So the one I enjoyed least was Miro. And that's because it's not really aimed for an individual sitting and thinking through an idea like this. It's really aimed for many people to come into the same board, probably in a meeting, to get a bit of group kind of brainstorming, working on a group project together. I also really did like the way that you could do the presentations on it. I thought that was really cool. For like a teacher, laying out a bit of a board and then working on it with a whole group of students, maybe getting your ideas about a text or something out, or collaborating around answering a whole bunch of questions maybe. I think that could be really, really good. So I could see myself for teaching, I could see myself for brainstorming. It was pretty simple to use. It certainly is going to be really good if you're using a stylus enabled device and you've got many people working the same one. It's cool. The next one, Notion. So I'm putting Notion fourth in terms of how I enjoyed it for writing this thing. And I think I kind of, I tried out the AI and it was like, well, I could kind of use this. And it kind of worked, but actually in the 10 minutes, that should have been the furthest along in terms of the script, but I think it's probably the least developed out of all of them in terms of the script, because I didn't think through it in the way that I was used to thinking. And I think if you're going to use AI, you need to make sure that you're using and training an AI to do processes in the way that you would, and that you're just kind of sculpting the AI to do the things that you want it to do, but that it's thinking things through in the way that you want it to do. I think I've really explained that very well. But I always think of AI as being my junior colleague, and I'm going to give it the experience. So when it suggested it's like hooks and everything else, I was like, I would tell somebody to change those. I wouldn't use those. And I knew the reasons why I wouldn't use those. So it was kind of a bit of a waste of time. And actually, I think the hook that I've got in that script is probably the weakest of all of the hooks in all of the bunch. To think that AI is like this vast time saver, yes it is, but it could be a killer of quality as well. I'm the least sure of what I would say in that video, the one that was written by AI compared to the ones that I've done myself. So yes, use AI, but make sure you're choosing what you're using it for, and not just thinking that it's just going to make you a fantastic script by saying go. And that goes for any project, of course. So the next one I'm actually going to put in third. So I like xTiles a lot. I don't think that xTiles is really just about that individual kind of script writing document. And well, I have extensive notes on a whole bunch of different projects, and really it's the deeper functionality linking between those and linking into calendars and things that I'm used to, that I know there's a lot more in xTiles that I do like. So just for this, I didn't enjoy it as much as some of the others, maybe because of the linking. For instance, I can do things like I didn't show that you can change the whole style of the different things. You can group different boxes like this, for instance, and you can give them a group color, which is quite nice. There's more that you can do. And as I say, I've got my templates ready to go in there, and I've used it quite powerfully. And they have collections which are linked to calendars and to-do lists and things like that. All kind of really more powerful stuff than I was really using just for doing a piece of writing like that. The next one is Obsidian. I really enjoyed using the Obsidian. I really enjoyed using Obsidian once I'd found the canvas view. And once I found this idea that you can have different tabs open at different times. I think this is quite nice. And I'm sure once I get used to building out a kind of workspace here, I could use this really powerfully. I'm sure there's more that I can do as well. A lot more to learn, obviously, isn't there? And there's obviously a lot more things that it can do, links forward and backward, etc. So for this specific purpose, it was really good. I like the kind of canvas view there. And I would say the fact that it's free, the fact that you can have your own secure vaults. I think that for people who need a secure personal knowledge management system, it is the way to go. And I am going to put Scrintal on the top here. It was the one that I enjoyed using the most. what I really liked about it was the fact that I could have these cards both sitting here on the board and open in their kind of focus view. And you've even got an even more focus view, so if you just want to do a bit of linear writing within one of those cards, you can do that. I really did enjoy that. And you've got the links at the bottom of each one, linking forward and backward, where it links to on the board. And I know that in any card you can hit plus and you can link to a card that already exists, or you can create a new card. I feel like it's a really friendly space for someone who thinks like me. So I'm looking forward to getting to know this a little bit more, because I'm going to do a bit more work to cover this new app here called Scrintal. So if you're someone who's looking for an infinite canvas on which to do your focused thinking, if you're a writer, I think this is for you. If you're someone who thinks through writing, I think this is for you. And there are loads more in-depth features in here that I'm going to go into. I'm going to look through the Learning Center, watch all these videos, and make sure that the next time you see me use Scrintal, I am an expert on it. And please, let me know if I've missed any app out, if there's anything else that you think I should look at. And please let me know if you agree or disagree with my kind of rating there. I'm impressed with them all, actually. All of them would do just fine.